recorded. There we go. So it didn't catch that part, but we will add that to the minutes. Okay, so the meeting, did we have a vote on the minutes?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had a,
Yeah,
we had approval by Lynette and a seconded by Sue.
okay. And a vote, or
Aye.
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 aye, everyone says aye?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, then next would be chairperson's announcements. I don't really have any announcements for today. I know they're working on a committee at Locac to work with the homeless thing, or come up with, to be able to, not to work with the homeless, to come up with information and inform people what's going on with it, if I'm not right, Yale?
Yes. The information is on our website. If you go to the website on Locac, you will see the information.
There's a forum
Okay.
being prepared.
Yeah, what we are proposing is to have an educational and informational forum regarding the unhoused residents in Los Osos.
Oh, okay. Thank you on that. Are there any members' announcements that they would like to make?
I have a question. Did we have some public members that are just phone numbers, so we don't know who is on the call? Is that something that maybe we can redeem with names at least?
I don't think we need to until they want to speak. And when they want to speak, then we'll ask their name.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So let's get down to some basic work here on our regular agenda. We first have a permit regarding our deck replacement, and I saw Louisa somewhere on here.
Yes, we have Louisa, and we have, is it Jennifer Turner? So I will, Jennifer, we're going to ask you to unmute yourself.
Hi, Jennifer and Seamus Turner are here.
Okay, and is anybody else here representing you as well?
Louisa should be here.
Louisa,
Okay, then Louisa Smith, we will
yes.
unmute. Louisa, did you see the request for you to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I got it. So I'm the
Okay.
architect that's representing the Turners.
Great. Okay,
Okay.
so
And we-
everybody can talk who needs to speak, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And if we could just have a short, brief description of, the project. And so go ahead.
Sure. We're looking to extend our existing deck another, how many feet?
Another 13.
Another 13
So total
feet
18
from,
feet.
so it'll be a total of 18 feet from the house. It's a second-story deck, and will require a couple of pillars, 2 pillars, to hold the weight of the deck, and a small staircase.
Okay.
Okay.
I can add to that a little bit. There was, if you look on sheet, I don't know if you have the sheets in front of you.
Mhm.
Sheet C1 shows you where the existing deck was. It actually calls it out. And so it's there, and then we're extending. If you look at sheet C2, it shows you exactly where the deck is going out. And then sheet A2 shows you what it would look like. It's going to be glass rail, so it's really quite innocuous, I guess. It's see-through. The posts and the columns are as small as they need to be, or they can be, to hold it up. And Can't think of anything else to say. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. So are there any questions from members of land use? Let's do that first. Paul?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the presentation. Is it going to be impacting any neighbors' yards or anything like that? And if so, have the neighbors been sort of included in the discussion?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean by impact.
What was it? Casting a shadow on their yard?
Oh, no, I don't think there'll be any shadow casting. It's far enough away that there shouldn't be a problem with that at all.
Was there a requirement to like send out something to neighbors on something like this?
Yeah, all the neighbors within 100 feet, it's going through a minor use permit, so they'll all get notified within 100 feet.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Are there any other questions from members of the land use?
Lindy's waving. Lindy, go.
I'm muted. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I just had a question. It seems like, do you have plans for anything underneath the deck? It seems like a lot of open extra space. And I know you have like I forgot what the game is, but you have a pretty cool little thing in front to play that boliche or whatever.
Yeah, we have a bocce court. There's no plan to put anything under the deck. We actually want to preserve the view from inside the house, from the bedrooms that are downstairs. So while we might have a couple chairs, impermanently, we don't have any plans to put anything under the deck.
Okay, thank you. That was just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, we're hoping to, be able to travel from the deck down the stairs to play bocce occasionally and then back up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Like to open this up to the public then. Oh, Lynette or somebody? No?
No, sorry. No.
Okay, open this up to the public. Any members of the public have any questions regarding this project? And again, you should either, if you're on live video, wave your hand. If not, at the bottom of the screen, there's a place to wave your hand. We can unmute you and then hear what has to be said. Robin, are you seeing anybody?
I'm not, but Julie is having a hard time. She keeps going back and forth to being muted or not. So I don't know if Julie has anything to say, but I do not see any raised hands.
Okay. Okay, would anyone like to make a motion?
I will. I make a motion that we as a committee recommend to Locac that this go on the consent agenda. It's kind of a no-brainer. So you can write that better, I'm sure, in your minutes.
I'd be happy to, thank you.
How do you spell, is there a hyphen in no-brainer?
Well, I mean, it's such a, non-controversial project. It just seems like, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand.
And
Anyone opposed?
we aren't getting anything from Julie.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can. Perfect.
Okay. I was trying to use my phone and not my computer, but if my computer's working for you, then I'll vote in favor if you want, if somebody's tabulating those.
Turn off your phone or something. You have an echo, Julie.
I'll see what I can do about that.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, that takes care of that. We will put that on the Locac agenda. Next, we have a minor use permit for vacation rental.
Thank you. We're leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jennifer and Louisa. And on to Mr. Gade?
Yes.
Stephen.
Yeah, it's Gady is how we pronounce
Gady.
it. Yeah, and,
Okay.
Steve Gady, thanks.
80.
So,
If you'd like
should I go ahead?
yeah, if you'd like to give a brief description, I'm sure you've looked at the vacation rental guidelines that are out there. But yes, go ahead and give a brief description of what you're looking
Okay.
for.
So, hi everybody, my name's Steve Gady. I live at 301 Lilac. It's at the dead end on the west side of Lilac. And my wife and I are both teachers here, and she works at Baywood and I work at Morro Bay High School. And we like to travel, and so we would like to, while we're traveling for a weekend or a week or whatnot, rent our house out to guests such that that could help offset our housing costs while we're traveling. That's about it. We've used Airbnb before, and we tried it to see how it would work, and now we want to go through the process to get approved to do it officially.
Okay. Is there going to be somebody, if, say, there's an issue with the house and you're gone on vacation to somewhere wonderful, that will be keeping an eye on the house if there's any issues?
We have an agreement with a friend. She's actually, we're going to pay her a percentage, and she's going to manage the place while we're gone. So that includes hiring contractors, if there's a plumbing accident or something like that. She'll be there to take care of it.
Okay, and if there's a loud, rowdy party going on there?
Yeah, if there's a loud, rowdy party, then my neighbors would contact me and I would contact the sheriff, is how I would deal with that.
Okay. I'm going to open this up to any questions anyone might have concerning this project.
No, it looks like it meets all the guidelines. So.
Say it again. I did not. Somebody has an echo.
You do.
No, I don't.
May I ask a question, Larry?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I actually have a couple questions. I wanted to ask, how far away is the person who is going to be taking care of your vacation, your home while you're out?
She lives in San Luis Obispo.
She lives in San Luis Obispo, so she's about 15, 20 minutes away.
That's right.
The thing about, you obviously fall into the distance guidelines that we've okayed that obviously aren't law yet, but you've done your homework. That looks really great. But as far as if there is a problem like a party or whatever, the deal is the sheriff is not going to come over and take care of it. So your person, whoever is taking on the responsibility of watching over this, is going to have to come out and take care of it.
Okay. Thanks.
So
yeah.
Just so that you know, the sheriff has made it very clear, we only have one or two sheriffs that are patrolling the whole entire county at night. And the county doesn't have code enforcement on the weekends. Well, they don't have any code enforcement for this. They just don't. So it's all dependent on whoever it is that you hire to watch over your place.
Okay,
So
thanks,
for
Susan.
your
I
own
didn't-
protection, you want someone who is going to step in if necessary, is going to come over immediately if her number, you know, you need to post, give your neighbors or whatever, and they have to have the ability to call her, and she has to be willing to come out if there's a problem, because she's welcome to call the sheriff, or you're welcome to call the sheriff, but they've said point blank they won't come out. So
My manager, I think, would have no problem telling people what she needs to tell them. She's that kind of person. So, yeah.
How often do you think that will happen? How often are you gonna go, you know?
Well, I think it
traveling?
would probably be 3 or 4 trips during the summer and maybe a trip during the winter. We're both school teachers, so you know, usually we wouldn't be able to get it together enough to do it in the winter time, so it would be mostly the summertime.
Okay. Are any other questions from members of the thing? Lindy, I see your hand is up. You're muted, Lindy. Hang on.
Okay. I don't
There we
know.
go.
Did you
No.
unmute her?
I didn't.
Lindy, do you see a prompt saying that's asking you to unmute yourself?
I already did it, but then you guys had overridden. So
Now we hear you.
do you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Now we don't.
Gosh. Can somebody unmute her, please?
I keep doing
Was that
that, Gael.
It shows unmuted. It shows
Is that-
unmuted.
Now it's good.
There. It's there.
Don't
Can you
touch
hear me?
anything, Lindy. Don't touch it.
Okay.
That's it. Don't touch. Hands
Okay,
off.
okay, thank you. I guess I just, for everybody's awareness, I mean, we have the vacation rental, and then this is a little bit different in that it's not going to have the manager control that we normally have. And it's also through Airbnb. So I'm just curious if that throws anything. I'm not sure that they have to go through the full vacation rental, but I'm sorry, I don't remember how Airbnbs fell into that, since it's not a steady long-term vacation rental. Just invite any other comments.
Lindy, the criteria is that it's only a homestay if the owners are in the home commingling with the guests. If it's not a homestay, it's a vacation rental. And they're planning to be gone. So this is a vacation rental.
And sir, you did mention you talked to your neighbors. I mean,
I have talked to them. I talked before we tried it 2 summers ago, the summer before COVID. We tried it, but before we tried it, we talked to all the neighbors because we're at a dead end street and it's sort of a quiet, peaceful place, and we want to keep it that way. So we marketed it towards quiet people, and I was very clear that 0 partying or loudness would be tolerated. And I'd said, hey, this place will only work for you if you're the type of person that likes to just be quiet and enjoy peace. And we had several guests stay here, and we got back and the neighbors told us that everything went great. So then I asked them, well, would you be okay if I went and through the permitting process? And I got their blessing for it.
and what size house it is? How many people are gonna stay there? I mean,
It's a 2-bed, 1-bath. It's 960 square feet.
so I think for this, it's like what, 4 or 6 people?
Yeah, four people. That's right.
The license will allow 2 people per bedroom plus 2.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So he could, if he wanted to have a pull-out couch in the living room, he could.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
And all the issues with the cars you're aware of, that they should be as much as possible within your driveway.
Yeah, we have room for 2 cars to park in the driveway.
Okay, does any other members have questions or concerns? If not, then let's open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the public that has any questions or concerns about a vacation rental? Robin or Trish, is anybody seeing anybody out there?
Nope.
Nope.
It's clear.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll move the approval and the recommendation to Locac be approved and put this on the consent calendar for Locac's next meeting.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Oh, I saw Lynette seconded.
Sorry.
It's fine.
And NDL second. It has 2 seconds. All in favor of this motion, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed or neutral on this? Nope. Oh, Stefan, looks like you've got our consent. Wish you luck on that, and
So let
when
him
you
know
can
that he has to
vacation again.
participate.
Okay, thanks a lot. This is my first Locac meeting, although I've lived here a long time, and you guys make me want to attend some Locac meetings sometimes.
That's a great compliment for us.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Good.
Larry,
This-
who
Yes, Julie.
who invites him to the actual Locac meeting and make sure he gets
Well,
invited?
I was just going to tell him that right now. On the last Thursday of this month, I think it's the 24th, there's going to be another Zoom meeting. It's our official Locac Community Advisory Council meeting, and that's where we recommended putting this on the consent agenda. But we'd like you to, tune into that meeting.
Good.
It's on Zoom, so,
It's on the
just
22nd. It's on the 22nd. Go to
Sure.
locac.info and you can find our, there'll be a notice on the homepage where to go to get the agenda and stuff.
What was that site, Lynette, did you say?
Locac.
Oh, Locac, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That info.
Dot
And
info.
it's on the fourth Thursday. The general meeting, it's on the fourth Thursday of every month.
Okay, great.
And it would be prudent, I think, for you to come. When we put things on the consent agenda, we do this because we vetted them and it feels it's non-controversial project, and we send it through to go immediately with no discussion through Locac. But if there's somebody who might in your neighborhood catch wind of this, or somebody, whatever, somebody might decide, one can always get an item taken off the agenda, the consent agenda, and then it would be discussed in the regular agenda. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you just kind of want to watch until it gets through that it went smoothly, and you're not required to, stand up for yourself again.
Okay, that's great advice, Susan. Thank you. Thanks a bunch.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to sign off for that.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Then to the next item on the list, we have the Back Bay Inn. And Tim, I saw you.
Hello.
There you are.
Yep.
Hi, Tim.
Hello.
So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. Last time I shared my screen, and I'm going to need to do that again if you can allow me to. You have to give me permission.
Robin, is that something I do or you do?
That's something you do.
Okay. So
Hopefully we get it.
There's Tim, and then more. I'm not seeing it on here.
Larry, there's a share screen button at the bottom, big green thing.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
I don't know how it works, but
yeah, you have to allow me to. How did we do it last time? So I requested share, and then it says host disabled. You might go up. Let's see if I can find it. It might be in the menu.
Oh, God.
Yep. Oh no, I just lost everything. Shit. Participants can share at any time.
Yeah.
Multiple. So I've got that's checked here.
Okay.
So
Let me try again. It says host disabled.
okay. How many participants who can share hosts? Here we go. Let's try this one. Okay. Does that
There
help
we go.
anything?
Yep.
Okay.
good job, Larry.
Thank you. This will make it a lot easier. Okay, we're back. Thank you for giving us another shot at this. We will do our best and see what happens. We made a good faith effort to respond to the comments that we had, and I'll walk you through what we did and answer any questions that you may have. So on the screen in front of you right now is the plan that we submitted last time. And I'm just going to use this as a departure so I can show you what we did and see if it alleviates some of your concerns. So the blue rectangle on this site plan shows the footprint of the hotel as it was approved by the Coastal Commission. And we had that in the earlier exhibit. I want to point out that, as you can see, where's my cursor? It's actually set back 6 feet all the way to this corner uniformly, and then it returns back toward the property and stays on this one parcel here. So as we mentioned last time, since the owner acquired this adjacent parcel, he wanted to unfold this. We had a big debate about whether we unfolded it to the extent that it was too close to First Street. So what we did in the red indicates what we proposed last time. And that was set back 10 feet, which is further, for a portion of it, was further set back than the 6 feet in the original submittal, but we went a little further. So what we did is we took, let's see, it's got to refresh here. Okay, so we took this part here and we moved it back about 4 feet 8 inches to there. And then we took this unit at the end and we moved it back another 5 feet. So what we did is we're trying to give you a little more opening, so you can see from the red line here, that's what we're proposing compared to the blue line, which was what was previously approved. So I'm hoping this is an improvement. This is actually set back nearly 20 feet from the property line. We'll have a discussion about where the property line is. I have a survey I can walk you through. So this aerial photo doesn't show because this is a Google photo, or actually it was not a Google photo, but we don't have an updated aerial that shows the new parkway, but I have that on the survey. So this is what we're proposing to fold the building back and give you a little more setback. So we're really comparing the blue, which was what was approved through the Coastal Commission, and the red, what we're proposing. The goal from the owner's standpoint, we think this is a better design. We actually took your feedback seriously and negotiated and debated and felt that this was a good solution. I think it works it meets, I hope, a little better your concerns about setback, and it also is able to achieve what the owner was trying to achieve, which is keep this part of the site open. Building onto this lot here, which is what we want to do now with these 2 extra boxes, one advantage to that is it will preclude developing this parcel in the manner that it could be developed in the future if it was untouched. Just so we understand, it's possible that this could be developed per the setbacks and the development standards in the land use ordinance and the Los Osos plan, and it would be much closer to the property line than this. So the owner's intention is to try to keep as much open space as possible. And so that's what we're proposing. Let me go to the plan and we'll show you what it looks like. So there's the site plan with the units pulled back away from the street. Again, we're 10 feet setback here. We're about 15 feet setback, and then we're about 20 feet for the unit at the end there. And then I'm going to click through some of the exhibits just because I know you want to see what the 3D view looks like. So let me do this. So these are the floor plans. Again, what we did is we pulled these stairs down so that the balcony dead terminates at this last unit. So we were able to pull the unit back without, encroaching too much into the open space of the site that we're trying to maintain. Those are just floor plans. And that's the roof plan. You can see how it steps back here like that. And then these are the view exhibits, which these have not really changed perceptibly at all. I know there was a comment about this fence. So I did discuss this with the owner. This fence is it's not on the Back Bay Inn property. It's really on the property on the corner of First Street and Santa Maria. And I don't have a solution. I don't know that that's, it seemed to be a suggestion that wasn't appropriate to put a fence there. And I haven't addressed that because it's not really part of our project. So that would be, if it's an issue, that would be maybe addressed through another method. But it's, like I said, it's that fence. I'm gonna move this around here just so we're clear. That fence is way over here. Actually, let me go to a newer image. Here it is. So the fence that you're looking at in that photograph is way over here on a different parcel. And so I don't really have I'm not sure what to do about that, or even if it's acceptable, but that was brought up and I'm just showing you where it is on the plan. So these images haven't really changed much. And then this is the image from the street. The one, I actually had this tree, which is actually existing right now. It's slightly different from the exhibit that I sent you in the email because we left this tree, we cropped around it. This is a new tree. So that's, you can see it set back here. Originally it was straight across at the 10-foot setback. So this is 10-foot setback. This is about 15-foot setback. And that's about, oops, I don't want to do that. That's about a 20-foot setback from the street. This parkway here is actually another 10 feet. You can see on the survey, I'll show it to you. This is about 6 to 7 feet of planting. And then there's a 4-foot DG pathway here before you get to the street. So from the street, there's actually, that's about 15 feet plus another 20 feet. So there's actually 35 feet from this building to the edge of the street here. And then that's what it looks like without the building. So again, this tree right here, we showed it remaining in the exhibit that I just showed you, which is slightly different than the previous exhibit. We had 2 of these trees. And we can pull out this tree and put another tree in if you like it. As far as the landscaping goes, we're open to, putting some additional landscaping in here for the purposes of understanding the scale of the building. We left these trees and we showed a new tree here. Everything else is existing. You can see based on the existing photograph there. So that is the building footprint. There was questions about trees, and I'm just going to show you these. There are cypress trees planted. Here's 3 of them, my photograph. This is the cypress tree closest to the inn. 1, 2, 3, they're behind that fence there. And there's a total of, I think there's 7 cypress trees on that side of the street. And so the other ones on the site plan, I don't have them on a plan other than to give you an update that those cypress trees, these are the cypress trees that were planted right there. And then I'm going to go to the survey. So we had the site surveyed, and this footprint of the building is within a couple inches. It is exactly where it's shown on our floor plan. I'm not sure what the confusion is, but here's the property line. This is 5 feet according to our plans, and it's very close. It may be 4 foot 10 inches to the property line. And so here from the building, it's about nearly 5 feet to the property line. Then it's another 6 to 7 feet to the DG. And then there's a 4 feet DG pathway there. So this deck is actually right on the property line. This building here, there was a comment that was a shed that was enclosed, and I'm sure where that came from. This is the plan that was the construction drawings for the building that was built, that is pretty much represents what I see on our plan, and it's shown as a manager's unit here. And this is the corner of the building that matches, we dropped it right in and it matches the survey. So I hope that clears up some of the confusion. This plan, I included this plan with the documents we submitted, and I went back and had them darken up the property lines because I didn't think they were very easy to see on that other plan. So I had him mark the property lines. Now you can see the big bold dark lines are the property lines. Here's the back bay and footprint here, the existing one. Here's the deck. Here's the little curb walls there. And so that is the existing topography in the survey. There was some question about parking and how we dealt with that, and did the parking meet the requirements? And I confess I didn't do a lot of homework the first time because I knew that it was approved with the parking, and I didn't think the parking would be an issue. The parking on site right now has 37 spaces. Oops, let me go to this view here, which is exactly the number of spaces in the coastal development permit. So there's 37 spaces in this parking lot here. There are 5 spaces at the end here that are, I don't know if it shows on this other site plan, but there's 5 spaces that are by easement or shared parking spaces. They're down here. 4 of those are public and 1 was for the cafe at the time. So the land use permit from the Coastal Commission is 37 parking spaces. We have 37 parking spaces. At the time the inn was originally developed, there were 17 parking spaces, and this is in the original land use permit, that were allocated to the adjacent restaurant by easement. And I did confirm that those parking spaces, that easement expired when the sewer was installed for Los Osos. And the reason for that is there was a septic system out in this front lawn area here. And the easement went away because once the sewer was installed, sewer system, then that provided an opportunity for the restaurant to provide its own parking in the front of its building. My understanding is that went to Locac for discussion about putting parking here, and that they decided that would not be preferable. They would rather have the open space in the lawn area here. And that's where the idea of going back to the downtown, this one here, the parking, this is out of the Los Osos land use update, and one of the exhibits in the folder there. And this has been around since 1997, and it was in the 2008 update, and this is in the latest one. So they're proposed, this is where that diagonal parking down the middle of 2nd Street is proposed. And this is I think I included this in your package here. This is a newer drawing with another option, just tightened up a little bit. So there's a couple options there. So the idea is that, which makes a lot of planning sense, this, because you don't want to have the parking up against all the businesses if you could avoid it. And my understanding was that Locac didn't want to, it wanted to minimize the amount of new paved areas. And so the plan update is to provide additional parking down the middle of 2nd Street and to not put parking in front of the restaurant. So that's my understanding about the parking. I do want to reemphasize that the project that we're proposing, the modifications we're proposing to the inn, I understand there's a desire to look globally at what's happening everywhere, and that's maybe appropriate, but as far as this project is concerned, it has all the 37 parking spaces it's supposed to have to support the 9 additional units for the inn, as the original Coastal Commission permit required. So it met that requirement, the sewer's installed. That's why currently there isn't entitlement to do these 9-room additions. So what we're really looking for is whether or not these 9 units the footprint can be altered to, we think, better benefit the overall design of the site. All the other conditions remain the same. The parking's the same, the water use. I mentioned last time we had a letter that our water use is acceptable. My screen's gonna reload here. There were some other comments about lighting, and I'm gonna go back to the 3D exhibit here. Well, these are the elevations. I don't know that I got this far. So again, these are all stepped back. You can see this, it's 6'1" is what was originally approved. We came back and proposed another 4 feet, and then we added 4'8" and another 5 feet for this very end unit. So there is a pretty good setback, I think, and it's considerably more than allowed by the area plan, the Los Osos area plan, and the land use ordinance. So I think I'm hearing that there's a desire to make this building disappear, but and I think we've done our best to try to, in good faith, respond to your concerns. But I'm just pointing out, I think that this property is allowed, if it was developed separately, to go right up to the property line, which would be normal for a commercial district. You would normally see the buildings right up to the property line. So this is quite a bit more than you would normally see in a commercial district up against a public street. It's a little unique condition because it's been open for so long, and we're used to seeing, kind of a rural park-like setting there. So there will build, we are going to have a building there one way or another. Question is, will it be this configuration? Will it be the original configuration? And if it's the original configuration, there's an opportunity that this adjacent parcel will be developed at some point in the future. And I'm certain that the developer would ask for, the minimum setback required by the land use ordinance. Oh, I'll go back to this picture. So that is my presentation. I'm not sure if I hit everything, but open to questions. I'm sure you will have some, and I'll do my best to respond. Thanks for letting us walk through this with you.
Yeah, Tim, I think that was a very good presentation. I think you covered a lot of the questions and concerns that many folks do have. I want to open this up to the land use members. I just would like to say, if the item has been talked about or brought up, or I think we even have a list of a lot of these questions that came up. I don't want to keep hashing this out. So, you can make a small comment about it if you like, or if you have other new or different questions, that's what we're looking for here. So I will open this up to the members. Trish, I see your hand is up there.
Tim, you were just about to talk about lighting, and then you showed us the renderings. Did you want to talk any more about the lighting?
Yeah, what I would say is, pretty much every design in every jurisdiction has to meet dark sky requirements. And I think the comments in the minutes mention reference land use ordinance or planning area standard for lighting. Of course, we would comply with all that. They have to be shielded lights. They're not supposed to cast light, horizontally, certainly not across the property line. So the windows would have, shades on them, window coverings, because obviously you want some privacy if you're in a hotel room. So that's what I have to say. We haven't designed the lighting or picked it out, but it would all be dark sky compliant.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else? I can't see all the hands and stuff, so I could use some help.
Yael has her hands up.
Maybe we can close the share screen so we can see everybody again.
Well, if you put a chat, you can see who, yeah. I have very easy, I think, questions. First of all, regarding the parking, you keep mentioning that the parking where it is now in front of the cafe is plenty for all of the rooms. However, this parking structure has been used for the cafe and the restaurant. So it does not provide enough for the whole compound, campus. What the future will decide regarding downtown and 2nd Street, we don't know. But for now, I think you'll have to come up with some better ideas for parking because I don't think it's provides enough parking. My other remark, comment is it's not totally a commercial district, On 1st Street, it's actually across from residential. And the north of it is residential also. So only 2nd Street is commercial. So, it's not like 1st Street is totally commercial street. It's not a commercial street at all. And the last thing is I wanted just to mention the fence that you think is not part of the compound, the one on Santa Maria, along Santa Maria. It is. I mean, the BBI, the owner either rents that lot there or owns it. So he is responsible for that fence, and if the fence is intrusive, then something needs to be done about that fence. And my very last remark that comes up is I just want us to be scrutinizing your survey because there were a lot of issues about where the property line is. So I just want people that know better than me to look and to check that we are on the same page regarding the property line. And that's it for me for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lynette. Sue, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just have a question, Tim. I was wondering how you guys are planning to keep guests from parking their cars on 1st Street when your parking lots are going to be full or whatever, and they got this parking lot, this street right in front of their hotel room. How are you planning to keep them from using that with their cars?
Well, it's a good question. I don't know that we can prevent it because it's a public street. The entrance to the inn is on the other side, and all the signage on the other side. So I would imagine that if you stayed there for a period of more than one day or so, you might figure it out if you had one of those rooms that, hey, I might park on the other side here. I don't know that there's a way to do that since it's a public street. I mean, we can't say you could encourage them, maybe, please don't park on First Street, but I don't know how you would regulate that. It's a public street.
But you're
And,
required to have them park on your property. So, I mean, vacation rentals are such that people, the county says they have to be parked on the property, not on the street. So, it would seem to me, it would be great if you guys would think about some way to enforce that people do not park on that street if they're guests of your hotel.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit out of my purview because it's going to be a management issue, but note the comment. I mean, what you're expressing is you would like to not have the street, be filled with hotel patrons. Although I guess right now the hotel patron could park there even with the inn as it is, because there's a nice boardwalk there and access to the downstairs room. So I don't know if there's been a problem to date. There will be 9 extra rooms. I think that's an in management thing. I don't know if I don't know how we could do it architecturally, prevent them from parking there.
Okay, Tim, I think we understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue, for the question. Any other questions from land use members? Paul?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So, will there be any more trees planted in front of the buildings? Kind of a two-part question. And also, you pointed out he's only planted 3 cypress trees. Is that correct?
No, he's planted 7 on this side of the street. I don't have a photograph of all of them.
Right, but none of them.
I just have a photograph of 3, and then the rest of them are down this direction. So 1, 2, 3 know about that size.
There's people here who have been involved with this a lot longer. Correct me if I'm not getting this right. But part of the original, my understanding is part of the approval of the original expansion in 98 or something, was that the owner maintain the line of historic line of cypress trees. So I don't know exactly where they all were, but to me, maintaining the line means just that there's a line of trees, not that he gets to stop it wherever he feels like it. So it's not specifically your issue, but since you are dealing with new construction there and where there could be trees in front, I think that's an opportunity to press the owner to make good on that requirement.
Sure.
Lindy's waving her hand.
Okay, Lindy, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, am I unmuted?
Yes.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Tim, if you could pull up the very last, the one that is the new proposal. Not this one, but the new proposal for that, with that same scenario.
That one right there.
No, I'm looking at the same one. That one.
Yeah.
So what I see is what Sue brought up a little bit was, it almost looks like you just, when you are staying in those rooms down below, you just park out here on First Street and walk over to go into your room. So I would propose that there be more of a wall with just a pathway that they could walk down. It would eliminate the sense that is their parking spot. In this rendition, it really looks like it's almost designed to have the cars for those 3 rooms down below park right there. So I don't know, the landscaping is very low and it doesn't give any privacy to those rooms either. So I don't know if a fence continuation with just a little walkway right out there so that they could access the bay and the boardwalk and areas would keep the parking to me, it looks like it was designed for them to park there after they book into their rooms. So,
Yeah, can I respond? That's a great comment. Certainly this landscaping can be taller and we would want it. I might also point out that the floor level, when we got the survey of the inn, is anywhere from 18 inches to 2 feet lower than this. And so there will need to be a little curb along the back of these private patios anyway. So certainly we would want to have a buffer here to create some privacy for these rooms in the back. Of course, there's a boardwalk here at the end that connects everything. So we don't want people going this way. We wouldn't put necessarily a pathway directly like this. Anyway, we couldn't do it. There'd be steps and it would be, you know, more than it. There's a little drop there is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you. You know, Tim, with that drop and stuff of looking at this picture, has there been any calculation for sea level rise? They're saying by 2050, you know, it's probably going to rise 3 feet. Will that be coming in the front doors of these lower units?
So we haven't evaluated that. The inn has to match the level of the existing inn. And if the sea level rises, the sea level rises, and that's going to be the owner's problem. I understand. I mean, when this was originally entitled, there wasn't an awareness or understanding of sea level rise, and it was a historic, you know, building anyway. So necessarily, the floor level has to match the floor level of the existing inn, and so that's what it does. It just happens to be that First Street slopes up a little bit.
Okay. I just question. I hate to see it all underwater, you know. Are there any other questions from land use members?
Julie
I heard.
has to be unmuted.
Am I
Julie,
unmuted?
do you have a question?
Yes, I have some comments. And thank you, Tim, for trying to answer some of our earlier questions.
Sure.
I'm just going to say that the approach that you're taking and that you can't address the global issues is unsavory to me, and I think to the neighbors, and probably to several of my co-Locac land use committee members. If, for example, the parking, if you have adequate space for the parking for the hotel, then somehow you need to forbid the restaurant from using it so that the hotel clients use that parking lot. If you do that, then you impact the neighborhood with restaurant users. And this is where the global solution is in Mr. Lee's hands. And it doesn't sound like he's willing to do a darn thing about it. He has overextended the restaurants beyond their permitted use with extra outdoor seating. Every seat equals more cars. Every seat equals more water. He hasn't offset any water from the restaurants, adding those extra seats. As a good neighbor, if Mr. Lee would like to be a good neighbor, I think he would address those things and perform some offsets for water use. Find a way to provide more parking in the downtown of Baywood. Now, the parking district that you just showed, the diagonal parking, is a potential solution, and it's waiting for the community plan. Well, don't hold your breath. This is paint. Providing diagonal parking is painting the street. That could be done tomorrow. And to make it be done with a permit, I would ask that Mr. Lee and Mr. Benson join forces, put in for a general plan amendment to go separate from the community plan and get it done. Because this is a dire need that needs to happen sooner than later. It's been waiting about 20 years already. So let's get to some solutions that benefit the whole town, all of Baywood. And I just think, Yael mentioned the fence, and you said that you don't know how to address the fence because it's not part of this project. Well, the whole campus is this project, and this project can fix the issues that Mr. Lee made. These are the problems he created. And if he wants community support for his project, he's got to get in there and fix everything. So if you have any questions for me, I am available. Thank you.
I do. Can I respond?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I just need some clarification. So I guess, first of all, the fence, are we, it's way over here, and I understand, but it's part of you're looking at the global thing. Mm-hmm. Is it not allowed to put a fence there on the edge of your property? Maybe we need to absolutely verify that. I know the comment was made that it seems to block the view of the bay, but all of these parcels have the ability to put up 25-foot tall building on them. That's per the area standards.
Parcels, Tim, and he's not going to do that because that would take away from his other properties.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just trying to understand the concern for the fence, and I don't even know if that it's not allowed. So we'll have to put that aside.
I think the fence
and look
is
into
allowed,
it.
But maybe a different kind of fence, something that has some visual peep holes that go, some sort of lattice or something that, I don't know what the neighbors that are directly affected by it are complaining about, but if there was something aesthetic that could be done with it, I think everybody would appreciate that.
That's fair. I think I need to know more about this, so I can talk to the owner about that and see what, I'm not really sure what the issues are, other than I showed one image and it was not well received as an existing photograph. And then I did, go ahead.
Just on the fence real quick. It was originally a chain link fence, so you can see through it. The update to the community plan says no fences shall be built to block the view of the bay. If someone builds a building there, it's going to block the view. They're going to have to make concessions for it. But to put up a black fence like this when he has wire fences on the rest of his property that you can see through, this fence should be turned into one of those wire fences. So when somebody's walking down the street, and until that building is built, they can see through the fence and see the bay. It's a view question.
Okay.
That's just my comment,
Yeah, no, it's helpful. Thank you. And I was going to jump in here on the parking too. This needs to happen. This just makes so much sense for the community, and I'm not sure what the process is. But I understand that both Billy and Alex Benson are not opposed to helping make this happen. It's not like they've stepped back and said, you guys figure this out, and when you're done building it, we'll be happy. They want to be part of this solution.
Right.
But it's in the update of the plan, and that's following a timeline. If there's a quicker way to do it, I think everybody would be happy. Maybe we need to do some homework. You said it might be a general plan amendment. Go ahead. Yes.
That's what I understand.
If I may,
yeah.
That's all very well and good, but my understanding of the code is that all of those businesses are required to have on-site parking. Is that not correct?
Yes, I believe so, so
my understanding is that they're really, if you have everybody going to the Blue Heron, and as Julie pointed out, there's exterior seating, so it really increases the head count. and you have if the cafe ever opens again, and you have people there, and it's a very popular place, and you have a full hotel, then there is not enough on-site parking for all of those uses. So to say, well, it's going to be on the street doesn't really meet the code as I understand it.
So regarding the restaurant and the 17 spaces, so I would like to hear Locac's view on that, because I was told that the parking that is required to be put on the, to make up for those 17 spaces, that Locac debated that in hearings and didn't want to see the lawn in front of the restaurant converted to parking. They didn't want to see any additional pavement put in that wasn't, that they could avoid.
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, that was 30 years ago. Locac did this plan that you're showing me now.
Yes, this was 97. This plan is 1997. Oops.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to continue on this. We're talking about your hotel project now, and I think Locac, this is a good thing for us to bring up and talk about downtown Baywood and parking and stuff. I don't think that what we're going to do to Second Street is of topic tonight.
Well, I'll disagree, Larry, just because the global solutions have to be found in order to have the community support the additional 9 hotel units.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it's an issue, and I think it should be noted. And but and we should make these comments to the powers that be, and yes, it should be discussed. But I think the main topic we're talking about tonight is the hotel. Parking is, and with the comment, parking is a big issue problem for Baywood, and there is a larger problem, and land use and Locac and and our community needs to come up with some solutions and suggestions.
But like Paul said and Julie said, when you have a commercial entity, they have to provide their own parking. And it does not. This particular one is not just hotel. It has 2 restaurants there. So, and they do not provide parking for the restaurants, if that's only for the hotel or vice versa.
So may I ask a little more questions of Tim?
Go ahead, Julie.
Tim, the visual you have up right now, on the 2nd Street side, there's more hotel units. I can't point, so.
Here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not.
I'm trying, I don't see it.
Yeah,
So,
that building.
This one, yes. That building has hotel units in it. The one to the right also has hotel units in it. These little cottages are hotel units. And none of those, well, I can see some parking for those units, but those have not been counted as hotel parking in the global hotel parking need. And I just don't see that even those have been counted, and there should be, it appears there may be extra over here that your new clients can park on the campus, or expand into this little circle-y, where the APN A3 038181-21, maybe take that parking lot a little deeper. You know, get those cars on your property, and whether some of the restaurant use could be there too. It's just see what you can do. But I go back to that global solution of the parking district and fast tracking it. I really think that would be a solution.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments they'd like to make on land use?
Lindy?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Lindy. You're muted.
Let me find her. She keeps muting herself. Okay, Lindy, you're going to be able to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to agree with this parking issue, and I really don't understand why the large restaurant, the Blue Heron, couldn't adapt some parking in there, which would then also kind of help the other businesses there to take some of the load off of the street parking. So I think, you know, the idea of moving a little bit, I mean, we all want to have the beautiful park-like setting that's been done, but I think the parking problem isn't addressed well. And this parking that is in here, people that go to the cafe use it, people that are going to go walk use it. So it's coastal access parking for all practical purposes, really. It's a long ways from the hotel, so I think the ones that are closer to the hotel definitely have, you know, that makes sense that that's their parking, but then some of the other is public parking in our usage, the way we've been adapted to it. And the other thing that I forgot to bring up is that I'm really disappointed that the replacement cypress are whatever, 4 or 5 feet tall. We should have had much larger ones put in. It's those will take years to ever get even close to the height that they were. So I would encourage that all trees that go in there be a lot larger to compensate for the fact that we didn't get a reasonable size of cypress replacement. So I think the parking needs to be addressed because Mr. Lee does own most of this property and is leasing out to restaurants and other hotel facilities. So I would see if there isn't some parking that can be squeezed out of some of this without taking away the tranquility and the sense of open space. Thank you.
If I could, before we close here, I had just one final parting comment that thank you for all your feedback and comments, and we'll certainly bring this all up with the owner. I do want to reemphasize, though, that what we came in for is not what we're being asked to do. Do we want the blue footprint or do we want the red footprint? And I'm just we can go back and do the blue footprint, and we don't need to address any of this because it's already entitled. We're not asking for 9 additional rooms. We're asking for a different configuration. So we want to accommodate as best we can, and hopefully we can reach something that satisfies us all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so specific to that point, I think you've really worked hard and listen to our comments and move the rooms back. And I think those are good solutions, but ultimately they still have an impact on First Street that the original approved footprint would not. It has some, but it certainly doesn't have, you know, the same mass as those kind of where the 2 red pieces that extend into the other site or whatever that is. I mean, they're 2 stories high, and even though they're set back, and I think, you know, you've done a great job with that, I personally would still just rather see the original approved footprint. And yeah.
Okay, so that's from there. Do we have questions or anything from the public? I'm going to move this on to the public so we can keep moving along.
Sure. Yeah, if you have a question, raise your hand if you phoned in. *9. And then we'll unmute you and you can speak. If you need a reminder on how to raise your hand, down at the bottom, please click on the participants icon. And then you'll see over on the right, the panel, there'll be a little button to click to raise hand. Perfect. I see, let's see, the phone number ends in 4, oh crap, I can't read it. Okay, 463. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. You can speak, and would you please identify yourself by name? *6 to unmute. Okay. Well, then we'll try that again. Let's see, Lisa Denker. Ask to unmute. And then you can speak.
Not hearing you, Lisa.
No.
She's gone now. I don't see her on the list.
Oh, I was unmuted. Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
I think I just want to reiterate points that were made. The first thing is about the Monterey cypress that are still not planted to plan per encroachment permit, which I think must be coming up to be due as far as done soon. I think there's a time period for that to be finished, and we're nearing that end. But there is a plan, and it shows placement of the 7 Monterey cypress trees. And on that plan, they're not inside of a fence, and they are that section across the hotel and the new addition area into the Great Lawn area. But there's a plan, so I won't describe it. But they're not planted. They're almost planted as though they're placeholders to satisfy a code enforcement or something. Because when they grow, they will push the fence over. They're planted literally right up against the low fence. So they're not even permanently planted. There you go. Because you know the base of the tree, they can get many feet wide eventually. So I just want on the record, that's really not satisfying that encroachment permit. And then the other item was, I really want to reiterate, you can hear me, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. This comment about parking for employees, visitors of the hotel business, and guests to all the food businesses, and other workers for the hotel. I mean, according to our directives, those parking spaces are supposed to be accounted for by the business owner. And it really doesn't seem like they are when you really look at it. And I just want to reiterate it, that since this old permit for the additional lodging, the BBI has added many rental units. And I know they were pointed out, but there were also some additional cottages. So this building of 9 units, there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's already 6 that have been added before this addition was built. And I want that noted so that it moves forward to the Coastal Commission. I also just want to say, the reason why that's so important is that in our LCP, we're designated as a special community, and we're characterized by small scale, low density development. And I don't think this project fulfills that. That's about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Any other questions from members of the public or statements or?
Larry, let's try phone number 1-805. It ends in 350. I'm gonna try and unmute you.
I've tried that also. Oh, well, go ahead.
Yeah, and so
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
This is Dave Bolus. I would just like to add to Lisa Dinker's comment about the trees. In the agreement for the original remodeling of the Back Bay Inn way back in 1999, the Coastal Commission stated that the trees that screened the motel from the neighborhood were to be maintained. And those trees have fallen or have been cut down, and the tiny little trees planted along the fence certainly don't satisfy that requirement. That requirement was for screening of the motel from the neighborhood. It wasn't just to have some trees out there on the street. So that's my comment. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dave. Any other comments from anyone? Members of the... am I hearing somebody in the background?
Nobody's raising hand.
Okay, nobody's raising their hand and not hearing anything in the background. Okay, well, Tim, I want to thank you. It was a very interesting presentation. I'd like to kind of put together a summary of this, which will probably get off our minutes in the recording of this thing, and then possibly present it to Locac and see what their input and concerns or questions might be. So is that sound good to you, Tim?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So land use, can we work on putting together something that we can present to Locac, say by next week?
Yeah, I can have it from the minutes probably in the next 48 hours for you.
Okay, and then again, leave it open to the public again for more comment, and present something to Locac with the information that we have, and see. I guess Tim, what you're asking for is like a statement from land use and Locac about this project, right?
Well, I mean, we need to go through the process. We need to go to Locac. And so we're not, at this point, we haven't made everybody happy. So I'm hearing that. And primarily because of global issues that aren't addressed specifically by this project. So we need to go through the process and see where it ends up. And if we just hit a brick wall and it doesn't go anywhere, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to the original design, and maybe some of you feel that's better. So I think there will be some missed opportunity, because I think that this adjacent parcel will be undeveloped for the near future, but in the long term, it is not going to stay undeveloped forever. And there's going to be a 2-story building there as the ordinance allows, and instead of a stepped back portion of another building in an open space. So, but we need to go through the process and get your comments. And I mean, I think there's will to work on parking, and I've seen documents that show all the parking counted up for all these different units. It's just outside the scope of what I'm able to address tonight, but I can certainly take that back to the owner. So,
yeah, that's what I was trying to point out. I see we have a couple of folks here. Paul, I'll let you go first.
Thanks. Actually, just I had mentioned that, my preference for the original footprint. I'm wondering if anybody else has any comments about that. Yes, no.
Okay, yeah, Al, I saw you had one, and then Lindy, you're next. I see that.
I would like the owner, I'd like your team to consider together with the owner the area of the APN 038-181-25, since it's going to be open up, if we are in favor of the new configuration, that area will be designated the parking for those units. At least those units, maybe it can cover some other cottages and additional area and additional units.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Lindy, you're muted, so hang on a minute, but.
I unmuted.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. I have to agree with Paul somehow that the original diagram seems to put much less impact on First Street and having hotels access and having people use First Street for parking. So, I don't know where we go from here. You've done a lot of, I really appreciate stepping them back the way you have with this latest presentation, but somehow the original seems like it fits better to the protection of First Street as a public access and without having overflow parking end up there. So that was all.
Okay, thank you. That'll be noted. Anybody else? Last comments?
Yael, you have a hand up. Did you want to say?
Oh, no, I just spoke.
Okay.
I'm taking it down. Thank
Can
you.
I ask?
Okay.
Can I ask one last question of Tim?
Julie, go ahead.
Thank you. Tim, can you put the graphic with the red and the blue boxes back?
You betcha.
If they approve one or the other, then it goes, regardless of the borderline.
So when you say if we go with the original blue configuration, that will leave a parcel 21
Yep.
available for some other use.
In the future.
In whose future?
Well,
So 21 is street to street, and it's already developed on the Second Street side.
I'm sorry. What was that?
This is one parcel from street to street.
Yes.
So is there some other plan for?
There's no current plan.
Well, the future is something nobody knows, and we would deal with it when the time comes.
Right. It's subject to its own permit.
Yep.
And I just think Mr. Lee wants the green space for the weddings and wine tasting or
Yes.
whatever he's going to do. And surely, we can't predict that he won't sell someday and change the idea that goes on there. But that property already has development on it. And I don't know, I feel like you're threatening us that if we don't go with the red design.
I think threatening is way too strong. I'm just looking for, I think there's an opportunity to kind of tie the lot up so that, 10 or 15 years from now, it won't look like this, which is it could look like this. They could have parking in another building there. I'm not saying it's going to happen or it's going to happen any soon. Obviously, Bill wants it to be open. So if that's not a concern, then, and we roll the dice, then we'll go forward. But so it is definitely not a threat. It's just pointing out the realities of land use. And, if the land use is open and it's nothing on it or it's underdeveloped, it guaranteed some point in the future, when we're, maybe gone, it'll be something else. So
they're going to have to find a lot of water somewhere.
Well,
Okay. Good question, Julie and Tim. Again, thank you. Anyone less comments or anything? Well, if not, Tim, I want to thank you very, very much. Very informative.
Thank you.
I'm glad you found these old plans and stuff here. It's very. I've been here for a long time, and I forgot about these. These were first out when I was here.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them again. Okay, so if that's it, then I guess our last thing is public or members' comments for items not on the agenda. Lindy, I see a hand up. Mute. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it. My public comment would be that we still have the discussion about the homelessness situation, and really the main point is finding a piece of land that can be designated for transferring people to that, so that we don't have them behind the library and scattered around where they are now. I just urge that this forum begin with a small group. The people that have been active with it right now, Yael's done a great job, and she can, but I'm a little worried that this is going to go on and on and on with no solution in sight, and the solution needs to be done. The whole county is dealing with this issue about where they can transfer people to and set up some facilities to give them the assistance they need and counseling, et cetera. So I would urge that whatever forum is being put together, I'm not necessarily volunteering, but I could be on it. If anybody needs somebody, I'll volunteer. I've been involved with watching what goes on with homeless in our community, and I think there's some solutions, but I think talking about what the problem is way past wasting too much more time with. So I just urge that we start looking at a forum that will start looking at properties that might be doable to put a temporary or even beginning long-range homeless thing on. So that's my comment, to speed it up a little. 6 weeks or I think Bruce said 6 weeks before we'd have a discussion about the homeless problem. And in my eyes, we've already had it. We just need to move to the next level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lindy. Yael, I see your hand up.
I just have one question to Lindy. Are you suggesting that maybe land use will look for an area? I mean, are you attempting to say something like that? It will be a new twist, will be a different twist. But anyway, why don't you come to meetings? We are going to have meetings of the committee. I mean, I think if you wanted to suggest that, I would support it. But that's very radical right now. So,
any idea when they're going to happen?
What, the forum or the
first forum, which I don't believe.
Well, we don't know, but possibly we aim it before the end of the year. So maybe end of November or the beginning of December.
Is there any way to fast forward with just discussions about what the next step is, which is to get the some property assigned?
Well, that's what I would like. That's what I would like, but I'm not running. I mean, I'm not doing the work on my own, and you are not either, unfortunately. So, what the county people, I think, feel, and again, I cannot speak for committee that has not even got together yet, but from what I understand, that the educational part and the informational part, it will be the beginning. And what follows is absolutely, you're right. Everything you say is absolutely correct. And I would have liked to go to action now too, but I think that our community needs some education and information. And hopefully they'll learn something.
Well, are there going to be any preliminary forum talks, or is this just something that we'll schedule for Christmas or something? I mean, I'm just...
There'll be meetings.
Lindy and Yael, this is, I have comments and stuff, not the two of you can talk privately and answer each other's questions.
We put the information on Locac, by the way, on the website, so you can see what the preliminary actions are. So go to Locac and see it. That's as much as the public can know. That's as much as I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? I see it. Any
Planning Commission is meeting
comments?
Thursday on our community plan.
Oh, yes.
Which Thursday? This coming Thursday?
Yeah, the 8th.
Thank you for the reminder.
Okay. Well, that's it. I want to thank everybody. Robin, thanks for manning the controls there. I think it worked out pretty good this evening. Sue and Trish, for bearing with me on this. I appreciate all the work. And for everybody else who we always have interesting things at this land use thing, you know.
Yep.
Good
Thank
thing.
you. Thank you for running the meeting so smoothly.
Yes, Larry, thank you.
Yes, yes, lots of help, but good. Yes, thank you all too.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Stay safe.
Robin, I never got muted.
Oops.